Well, everyone, after somehow winning the title last season, it is time to try and defend that title. We're about, I think, 7 or 8 games in, maybe a little bit more. We've had a really good start. We're currently top of the table. We really should have won the little cup that happens before the season starts. We were robbed, really. As I said last time, we did have a decent transfer budget. I've been really reluctant to really spend any money because the club's finances are still in the mud. So I'm really reluctant to sort of go to town on wages and transfer fees if I can avoid it. But yeah, let's see what's going on as we look forward to our Champions League campaign at the end of this season. And of course, I don't actually mean at the end of this season because we will likely be starting our Champions League campaign around about here, I imagine, mid to late June. But yeah, let me just quickly get this over and done with for you. So we got through our group this time quite comfortably. I say quite comfortably. We finished a point ahead of them. But yeah, it never really looked in doubt, to be honest with you. And then we lost in this semi-final here against Fram, and they scored. Admittedly, when the game was very evenly balanced. And then we absolutely dominated them in the second half, and we were pushing for it, and they basically won the ball back in midfield and just ran through and scored right at the end of the game. And very frustrating, but as I felt like we really should have won that game, and therefore probably ended up going on to win the whole thing. But it is what it is. Meanwhile, in the league, we have started very, very well. We had this annoying 1-0 defeat to our rivals where, oh my word, they scored a very heavily deflected goal. They got a goal out of nothing here, and then we got one back. Really annoying. We really should have won, but that was our only loss of the season. As I said, we're currently top of the table, 2 points clear. So, and we've got Fernandez, Isaacson, Suarez, Karras, and Isaacson all cleaning up, and the sort of bossing the main charts, doing really, really well in that regard. So yeah, going well so far as we look to defend our title. So yeah, the only bit of money we've spent is on Haldor van Rekelen, who we brought in on loan from St. Truden out in Belgium. I think he was a director of football recommendation. We just asked him to find us a right back because we needed a bit of depth there for Stephenson. And to be fair, this guy is probably slightly better defensively, but maybe not as good going forward. And that's the only amount of money we spent is 180k to bring him in on loan. The rest have all been free signings. So we brought back Ingemar Arne Christensen, who his contract expired at the end of his time at Breda Blick, and we just brought him back because he's a decent player. He did well for us when he was here before he went to Breda. Didn't really play a huge amount. He was free, so we basically sold him to Breda and then brought him back, and he's come in on a sort of contract, basically pay as you play type deal. So really good, just good option to have on the left wing to cut inside. Gives us something a little bit different if Isaacson's injured or we want to change things up. But we did actually manage to bring in Isaacson again on a free. His contract expired. We initially agreed terms with him on a, I think, 850k per week deal, and then he signed another one with Breda, but it was like again, it was like a non-contract one, so like he was literally just like a pay as you play. So we went in from again. His wage was slightly higher, but he has been so good for us. I mean, he's already got 4 assists this season, that it just made so much sense to bring him in. And then we brought in another keeper because Christian Laura did end up leaving, and we brought in Alex from Brazil. He's currently mainly playing backup to Barbet because if we play him, he counts as a foreign player. But I've got high hopes for this guy going forward. So he's still only young, so he's got time to develop. And then another free signing we did was someone who would just basically look to bring in for a bit of quality depth, really, to rotate around in that midfield slot. Primarily to be a ball winner or the defensive midfield cover. He's Tunisian, is Khalil Gunechi. So he counts as foreign. So basically it means that Cvetkovic or Gunechi plays unless we've got someone else out. But yeah, just a good bit of depth, especially with us, playing in Europe this season. We wanted to make sure we had a little bit of quality rotation option. And then finally, we got asked about this dude in a press conference as a potential signing. And I was like, well, I looked at him and he had reasonable tempos for a defender. So we just brought him in again on loan just to be a squad player to provide a little bit of depth because Phil Helmerson has just really just dropped off a cliff. sorry, this guy, Hjalmarsson, Vilhelmer is his first name. Yeah, he's just really not good enough now. He is literally just a squad player, and he will. I might try and sell him, but I might just keep him around until the end of his contract next year, just to be a sort of urgent option, just to throw on as a sub to save some tired legs. One slight issue we do have is our star defender, Balderhannes Hjorlofsson, came to me saying he wanted to leave to go and play in a better division or something like that, better quality team. And I was like, no, I really want to keep you. I'm not just going to sell you just because you asked for it. If someone bids for you, then we'll look into it, but otherwise I'm not going to sell you. But someone asked me about him in a press conference saying, what do you think about Hjorlofsson going out and saying he wants to leave, to the media? And I was like, it's obviously very disappointing, blah, blah, blah. But there seems to have been some sort of promise that ensures I'm going to sell him. So I'm not going to actively push it. If no one bids for him, I'm just going to say, no one bid for you. Meanwhile, one of our star performers has been Miguel Angel Fernandez. He's got 7 goals in 6 appearances in the league. But he's acting up at the moment. He's missed 2 training sessions because he's been out partying, and now he's also not going to be here for the game today against Greta. I'm hoping that will settle once this sort of promise gets fulfilled, that I was going to give him more game time, because we are currently on course for that with 23 days left. Birknesson, we've tried playing him and he's been terrible. And finally, we did win, I assume it's the Icelandic version of the Community Shield type thing, the European, the European leagues when they do the Super Cup, like the German Super Cup or whatever, or the Trophée des Champions or whatever like that. We won that basically, 1-0. So aside from the forced sort of rotation of Fernandez because he's unavailable, I've had to rotate still quite a bit because we did have quite a lot of tired players because the games have been coming quite thick and fast. So we've had to pretty much rotate most of the team to try and sort of field as fresh a team as possible. And obviously we've got some players on the bench who can come on and influence things, but obviously Hjorlofsson, he's missing out. As is Harrison, he's been really good. Isaacson is going to miss out because he's really tired as well. I just don't want to risk some of these guys getting injured, so we're just going to have to take a chance against Greta today, who are a good team. Suarez also not fully fit, so Birknesson is going to get a chance to try and do something. We are going to see Gwinici in. Cvekovic isn't necessarily knackered, but he has played a lot, so I am conscious of the fact that I don't want him to get to that point. But he can obviously come off the bench and play. And because we actually had a spare EU slot, we're actually going to give Alex a game. So make no mistake, Greta are a good team. They were sort of top 3 last season. We've had to rotate, unfortunately, today, just to try and keep it as fresh a team as possible. And hopefully those sort of legs will see us through. Also got new kits as well for this season. We've done the kits again. We did do some a couple of seasons ago, and we've done some more this season. Sort of commemorate our first title win. The ones we're wearing have got a little bit of a gold trim on them as well, just to sort of bring that home. We've also added a 3rd kit as well, because we didn't have a 3rd kit. I don't know when we'll see us. He's well offside. I don't know when we'll see us use it, but yeah, it's nice to have the option. Yeah, Miles offside. Well done, the defence. Really played that line nicely. But yeah, Harrison has really dislodged Magnusson as our sort of starting right winger. He's been really good this season. And Magnusson has sort of just... his development stalled, really. If anything, he's gone a bit backwards. So, that's why Harrison has been starting. We got a new president as well who wants us prioritising developing youth players, which apparently was somehow failing, even though Siggy Ernstson obviously still plays a lot for us. Oh, he was offside. Annoying. Who literally came through our youth intake. Bragason also we had as a youth intake player. He's played, a reasonable amount. He played pretty much every game as well in the cup before, the sort of pre-season cup. So I don't know how they decided we're failing to do that, especially when they won't, we've not got the money. I've not even bothered asking to it because I know what they're going to say, to improve our youth recruitment on our youth facilities, and to put our youth staff, head of youth development, on coaching badges. So the players coming through haven't been brilliant and aren't particularly useful, especially when we're obviously trying to build a successful team. Even though, we may have achieved sort of very prematurely, but we've got to try and maintain that. So I can't afford to really be playing these below average youngsters. So we're just kind of having to play the good players that we have. So I think, but like I said, we're playing. There's a couple of youth intake players who start or are involved in the match days. So I don't really know how we can decide that we're failing that. He was onside. He was definitely onside, Bergson. Their left back looked like he was playing him on for me. Now you got to lay it back. That's fine. Yeah, we managed to negotiate a few players down to like squad players, like Christensen. When he came in, he wanted to be an important player, but we managed to get him to basically come in as a squad player, with a view to making him like a regular starter if he achieves like a certain match rating in his games this season. Nice. Oh, blocked. That was annoying because that was bended in top corner. If you can hear noises, my dogs are playing in the kitchen. I'm still stuck in the kitchen because I've still not got electricity upstairs. But I've got Wi-Fi now. I just put a super long Ethernet cable. That was good defending because I think Bergson would have been in. He probably still would have missed, but he would have been in. We'll take that all day. You can do that as far as I care all game. But yeah, I think I do have an optional purchase clause for this guy, and I would be potentially be tempted to bring him in if he does really well. Because he's only young. It's kind of like another Hjorlofsson situation, but obviously we just managed to bring Hjorlofsson in on a free, like because he was just on a sort of non-contract deal with Thrutter Reykjavik. So I would. Oh, you got to be kidding me. So yeah, I would certainly be looking to try and potentially bring him in at the end of that deal. Because I think he could be a good sort of prospect for us at his age and potentially a good replacement for Hjorlofsson. Are we going to take that free kick while Gomez is still lying down, or is he he's trying to get up? Is he getting up? He's up. There seemed a lot of faff around that injury and that free kick for it to just basically just be a non-starter. We finally sort of tweaked our set pieces as well. I mean, considering we're very much playing a second string team here, really, with like not many sort of regular starters. Like I said, you know, Gomez, he is wanting more game time, so you know we are playing him sort of partly consciously, but partially also out of necessity. But don't get me wrong, he's a good player. It's just Fernandes has been so good that he's kind of been undroppable, even despite his attitude problems. But our whole sort of first 11 really is players who would not ordinarily have started a game. Like I said, Barbet could have started, but I just chose to play Alex because I actually had the flexibility to do so. Because yeah, Greta I think are like third or fourth, so don't get me wrong, they're no pushovers, and we're so far holding them quite well. Quite a poor shot, really. Really quite a poor effort. Bergson with an absolute stinking 6.4. He just doesn't really contribute anything. He's got really good stamina, so he can actually last quite a lot in games. But he just doesn't do anything of any real constructive note in games, seemingly, which is weird, because his sort of actual striker attributes are pretty good. That's a really good goal. But it should have been avoided. Hjalmarsson did terribly with that. Like, he managed that so poorly. Like, really, really poorly. And that's why I was saying, you know, he's just obviously not good enough, really. And they've just taken the guy who just scored a beautiful lob off. Interesting. Wow, that's pretty shocking. Oh my good God. Thankfully, Alex made a great save because that defense there, Johannesson just got absolutely done, like turned so easily. Probably should really have taken him off for Gomez, but Gomez has got quality, which I kind of want to keep on the pitch. Wait, let me bring him on now. That's probably why I should have started Barbet. Ugh. Actually, I could take Gomez off. Hjorvesen, who can do well. Hjorvesen had a really good end to last season because obviously he scored the goal which won us the title against Fram, and then he scored against Greta again in the second game. And then I think he scored like at the start of this season in the cup as well, a couple of goals. So, but yeah, again, he's another one who was a youth player, and he's played a lot as well, like over the last sort of 2-3 seasons. I don't know how they've decided we're just not developing youngsters. Going to say Suarez did look offside. Oh, the keeper's come for it. Go on. Yes. 11 goals this season for Suarez. Like, it took him probably about double the number of games just in the league alone to get to this point. Keeper committed stupidly, and Christensen just plays it back in, and Suarez is always going to get there. But yeah, it took him to, probably like double the number of games he's played so far to hit 11 goals. So that's been really, really, really like key for us this season. And we're back in this now. And with that little bit of extra quality on the pitch up front, I'd back us to get a winner here. Oh, it's the bar, Hjorvesen. Yeah, I've just told him to do that. Why is that not happening? I really want Magnussen to run at that left back because he's knackered. You know what? Maybe we'll actually focus a little bit of pressure on that side, and then actually potentially instruct to sort of focus play down the right and overlap on the right, even just to sort of really run him ragged. If we can get down that byline, who knows what we could do. Bit of fresh legs on the overlap in Stephenson. When he comes on, I will actually probably put him as an attacking fullback as well. This is probably where Kerrison would have an absolute field day if he was free there. That wasn't the pass. The pass was the underlap to Magnussen. But it doesn't matter because we get the goal. We get that goal. And it comes down that right-hand side. And it's Suarez again, man. Super sub off the bench. You'll see, I wanted Hjorvesen to play it to Magnussen then. But it gets there eventually. And we do score. And I'm going to turn that overlap off. Because... sorry, everyone, if you can hear these dogs going absolutely mental. The weather's horrible here, so they've not really had a walk today. So this is probably where all this is coming from. But the weather is absolutely grim. It's full on like stormy weather outside. I thought he could play as an anchor. Well, he's going to play as an anchor. Well, if we see this out, I'll be really happy that we've managed to do so with a very heavily rotated team and like saving a lot of our sort of star players. I know we brought some off the bench, but at least they didn't have to start. Obviously, we've got to see the game through. Don't get me wrong. Right, I've just had to stop them playing, so they're getting a little bit carried away and causing absolute havoc, and I think they were getting a little bit too over the top. So it should have a bit of peace and quiet for now. So this will currently see us go 5 points clear with the game in hand over Fram. That's really good. Really, really good at this stage of the season. Like, almost just under a third through, because obviously we have the 22-game league campaign and then the 5-game playoffs afterwards. Yes, Javetovic, and there's the win. I am made up with that. But yeah, here's our man Alan, and I do need to get his new gen base done, actually. But yeah, absolute brilliant season so far for him. 8 goals in the league in 8 appearances, 2 of them as a sub. Still playing as an advanced forward, despite a deep line forward on support apparently being his ideal role. But we obviously just don't play with that. It's these mentals which are fantastic for him, and he is actually our vice captain now. And if we can somehow keep hold of him for even another couple of seasons, I think the sky's the limit for what he can achieve in this division. Eventually, he will probably end up being sold, hopefully for a little bit more than 65,000. And I can't remember if there's anything else I was going to touch on today. Like I said, finances are shocking. We've moved some of it around, so obviously we did initially have like 500k, 600k, but we moved some into the wages just to try and bring in a few frees. But even then, the frees still wanted too much. Like some of the players who could have really improved us were wanting like 3-4k a week, and that would have just completely smashed our wage budget out the window. Well, not our wage budget, our wage structure. If we look at sort of our highest earner, I think is Christopherson on 1.2k a week, and he's certainly now, I don't think is necessarily showing signs as he's moved on of actually really being worth that, to be honest with you. And his contract does expire in October, so unless I can get him to agree to a lower deal, he'll probably leave. But yeah, I think I might just leave it there after that game, and I will bring it back for the Champions League should be in and around here, and we'll probably do both legs because obviously the first game is going to be our debut. So really exciting times. I imagine the reason we just don't know about that yet is because the Champions League obviously hasn't finished yet. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what's going to happen with that. But yeah, really, really optimistic for this season. Obviously, we started really well in the league. So I'm hoping we can at least retain that this season. And fingers crossed for a sort of productive Champions League campaign, or well, not Champions League, European in general, because I imagine we're probably going to get knocked down into the Europa League or the Conference League at some point. And let's hope we can just garner ourselves some points, really. So I will see you all very soon, everyone. Thank you so much for watching again. Take care. Bye for now.